Welcome and thank you for joining our ICFS modernization external user demo. Today we're going to cover international high frequency broadcast stations, IHF. And my name is Jane, and also I would like to give a word to Kathleen Campbell, who is a system owner.
Well, it looks like we just have FCC people on, so you all know me. I'm retiring on August 31st, and Adrian McNeil will be taking over in September to be in charge of ICFS. And I leave that in her capable hands. If you have questions during this presentation, write them in the chat and we'll answer them as best we can. And if you have questions after the fact, send them to icfsdemo@fcc.gov and we'll reply from there. And this recording will be available on the FCC YouTube channel for future reference, probably in a couple of weeks. And there'll be links on several pages on the fcc.gov domain. Back to Jane.
Thank you, Kathleen. Okay, we're going to go through the PowerPoint first and our demonstration agenda. We're going to go through the statement about the recording, question chat, registration with FCC course, overview, user demo, and also we will end with some questions and comments as well. Statement on the recording: this user demonstration will be recorded for future training usage. By attending, you agree to be recorded. If you prefer not to ask a question during the Q&A period, you may make use of the meeting chat as well. Questions during the meeting: please hold your questions until the Q&A portion of the meeting so that we can get through all of the meeting content. You are free to utilize the meeting chat and ask questions at any time. Additionally, you may email your questions after the meeting to icfsdemo@fcc.gov. The International Communication Filing System is ICFS, is the official electronic licensing and filing system for the Federal Communication Commission Space Bureau and Office of International Affairs. Each ICFS subsystem has multiple filing request types, and each filing request type requires one or more completed forms. While there are many common steps for filing requests, there are also filing variations based on the service category, request type, and FCC filing requirements. Today we will cover FCC application for international high frequency that includes the following. We will go over the construction permit 309 form, amendment of pending application 309 form, modification of 309 form. Also, we will cover the license application, renewal, and we'll cover all the consent of assignment and consent of transfer. Then we will move to the special temporary authority, STA, then the program test authority, which is PTA form. Also, we will go over the proposed frequency for upcoming season and the functionality that add and delete proposed frequencies. Before we move to the demo part, I also would like to tell you that ICFS users must be registered with FCC and have a username, password, FCC registration number, which is FRN, to log in submit FCC filings. Use the following steps to register with the FCC. You will enter the link in your browser to open FCC course registration page. Then you will select register to open FCC account and will follow the instructions in course. All the instructions in course are pretty detailed. As well, you will get the external user guide, which will have all the detailed steps how to register with FCC. Additional information about registering with FCC can be found on the FCC registration frequently asked questions page. Okay, this is and about our demo part. The first part, we will go over the accessing ICFS quick search page, also the navigating ICFS landing page, and then search bar, advanced search, helpful links, the button about ICFS, Also, the learn more about ICFS and my inbox. It's the first part of the demo. After you register with course and log into ICFS, you will be presented by the landing page. On the top right corner, you will have your first name and last name. If you click here, you will see your profile, and you can access your profile, edit your profile here. If you would like to log out, you can just click on log out. This button is about ICFS. Whenever you are on the portal, you will click on this button and will be directed to the landing page. Also, here we have the recent button. Basically, if you're on another page, it will bring you back to the landing page, and you can see recent public notice here, recent filings, recent actions. You can see here the actions: grant of authority, surrender, and etc. And as well, recent pleading and comments. Also here on this page, you can learn more about ICFS by clicking on this link. And here as well, you have a search bar. For example, you can search by file number, you can search by FRN, pleading and comments, public notice, and company name. For example, we can type the file number, and then file number here, and then search, and you can find the application. Also, this is part of the quick search. Also, you can click on the advanced. And here you have not only file number, call sign, or submission ID, you also can do the nature of application, search. You will click on, we can select, for example, IHF, and then here the type of application, amendment, and such. And you will present it with all amendments, what we have. Or, for example, you can do the, you click all here, and just select the application state. And you can find all current licenses or CPs here. By clicking on About ICFS, you go back to the landing page. Also, we have here like My Inbox, which is some communication with FCC. For example, if you submitted your license or construction permit, and there are some questions that FCC has, they can open the external chat and they can send you the message, and you will have here the red dot with how many messages, unread messages you have. Also, if there are any changes or statuses was to your application, they also will be shown here in My Inbox. As well, we have a helpful links here. You can see some external reports. I don't think that we have any IHF here, but for example, for ISPC reports or Team Telecom reports, you can find as well here the external reports. But we have here as well the button, the frequently asked questions. This is basically where the helpful links are. And if you would like to, for example, you forgot your password, you also will go to the helpful links. You can reset your password. You can learn more about the FCC on this page, same as the rules of registration system with FRN, then some policies and statements. Learn more about FCC fees. Also, the helpline number can be found here, as well as the email. Staff list as well can be found here if you want to, for example, know the Office International Affairs Global Strategies Negotiation Division. You can click on this link and it will take you, and you can learn more about. Then here we have the 3-letter broadcast site call sign code list. This basically is related to IHF, and whenever you want to request the 3-letter call sign, you can type here. Okay, let's do EWN and verify the call sign. This code is not available, and you will need to return to find another available code. This is also the link that will take you to external URL. This is the part of the Media Bureau where you can also just to find the call sign course preform and research and select your call sign, available call sign. And then here, for example, you can verify, and you can see like this call sign is available. And to file, you will need click on the printing comments, which will take you to printing comments part. Okay, I will need to check this link. Basically, it will take you here, that link. Or also you can access through the printing comments. In printing type, you can select IHF call sign request. Then fill out all required information. And then select the file number for that CP. You can select the confidentiality for the attachment. And the call sign number, what you would like to select, you will upload in your attachment. And this way, how you will send it to FCC. FCC will receive this, and they will submit that if this call sign is free and good to go, they will add it to your application. And that's how you will go to do all this process through the helpful links. All this also will be in your instructions. I will pause here for a little bit if there are any questions. Okay, and we can go to move to the second part of the demo. We will cover the CP309 form, also the license application. We will go over there how to submit form as a draft, how to submit the application, and then how to find your applications in My Filings. We will cover the modification and amendment, as well the renewal form, STA, PTA, and proposed frequency for upcoming season. And as well, we will cover the transfer control forms. After we go over the forms, we will go to the action bar where you can find the fee payment. You can do the surrender, you can do the deletion of the form or withdraw. as well, and then we will cover the printing comments as well. Okay. To start new application, you will click on the Start New Application, hold it low to international high frequencies, and here you can find all your IHF applications. We can start with the construction permit 309 form. To file new one, you will click on the new station. Here you will be presented with the 309 form, but 309 form is similar to any other ICFS application, has similar sections that go throughout the ICFS. Like all forms have the applicant information and contact information, as well the all forms have this instructions, form instructions. You will click on see instructions to go to the instructions specifically to this form. Also, you can print or save form. You can print form or save the form before you fill it out or together with all the information what you fill out in the form. To see the instructions, you will click here and you will be taken to the instructions. The CP IHF hasn't been uploaded the instructions yet, but this is where you will find them. As well, to print or save the form, you will click here and you can select save as PDF or Microsoft printed to PDF, which is will be to print the form, or you can just save it to your computer. Here, the first section is on 309 form, and as on many other forms, is applicant information. Here you will select FRNs, those FRNs that are assigned to you. For contact information, you can fill out this section, or you can just click on check here if it's the same, and then select the relationship. Here we have for 309 form, you will be pre-selected with the question that it's a new station because you're filling out the new CP, and as well, those options will be pre-selected for you. Here you can select it if it's an individual, partnership, corporate, government, or other. If you select other, you will have the field open to specify. Same as other forms, IHF has also the main questions and sub-questions that get often after you select the main question. We can select like any information, but here also if you select no to any of the questions from 2 to 7, you will be 2 to 6. You will be presented with the questions that you need to do the attachment to specify why you answered no here. You have an option, you can do the attachment on the question level, or you can go down and you will see the attachment section where you can just provide one file with all needed information. Then we have the financial qualifications as well. We can just answer those questions. Then the program plans and policies. This is the question that goes almost throughout all IHF. You will also need to submit the file here. Equal employment opportunity program, you also can just select MA here. But many other forms in ICFS, IHF also has those forms that form in MRVS table. Basically here for the antenna location. To add antenna locations, you will need to click on add. Then we can just fill out this. Like US, it will ask you the states. If you want to edit the information what you entered, you will need to click here on the edit row, which is like a pencil sign, or you can just remove it by clicking on the X. If you want to add some more information or any other site location, you will click on Add. Same works another MRVS, the antenna heights. Also, if you need to add it, you will click on the pencil, and if you need to remove it, you just click on X. As you can see, some questions, if I answer no, then it will require the exhibit, or here, for example, the registration number or exhibit. Just for antenna type, you have a selection if it's antenna is slewable, if it's antenna rotatable or fixed azimuth. And also if you can see the instructions. If it's, for example, slewable, you will need to, this is the example how you need to enter. You will need to enter there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 slews. And then if it's antenna rotatable, you also have some message here as well that FCC would like you to know, and as well that if it's fixed azimuth, you can stick to fixed azimuth and just out. For the antenna type, also those question like looks like question mark. This is like kind of the helpful links, also some information what FCC would like you to know while you're filling out the form. And for the antenna type, you have a drop-down menu. You can select the type of antenna, and also you can see the codes on the right. For example, we can select the halfway dipole array. Then the azimuth. Also, I would like to show you another thing. For example, we have the range, what goes in beam widths. And if I go over this range, you can see the system is asking you that value should be only from 10 to 80. If you're entering what go over, then you will need to upload attachment here with explanation. And then antenna code, you selected what you selected in antenna type. This is the range what will show you from 500 as it's mentioned here. Also, syrup zones has as well some rules in this field. If I enter, for example, you can see like the following syrup zones located in the United States are not allowed, and same with other numbers as well. We have the error messages that will kind of guide you what the information should be there. Let's stick to one that accepted. List of transmitters as well is in MRVS table. Application fees and waiver sections, it goes throughout the whole system. They like form the same. If yes, you will need to select the fees. If no, you can select it if it's a governmental entity or non-commercial education licensee or other, and you can just specify the exemption. For waiver as well, if it's yes or no, if it's yes, you will need to demonstrate the narrative and also do, attach the file to that. We can just select no here. Here you can see it's attachments and confidential treatment of attachments section, where all your attachments goes. As I mentioned before, that you can attach on the question level, or you can just do all your attachments here. And if, for example, I select yes, then if we do here, it's just one more attachment. And if you select that you want this attachment be confidential, you will be asked to attach public redacted version and public version of confidential treatment of attachment and supporting statement. So, and then also 309 form has the general certification statements. To submit this form, you will need to click on insert unique list form and then fill out the signature block. Also, all forms, if, for example, I remove this signature, you can see that required information is here below. If, for example, you miss some information that needs to be entered, the system will show here what you missed. We have also the button here, the checkbox here that allow internal users to view draft. If the form is in draft state, for example, if you want to share some information with FCC that they can help you to fill out the form, you can click here on the checkbox and save it as a draft. Then FCC internal users will be able to access your form. To save form as a draft, click here. To locate your form that was saved as a draft, you will go to My Filings. Here in My Filings, you can find all applications that basically are sent to you, and it's broken down to applications in draft state, pending payments, pending review, pending consummation, current, and closed archived. You can open the one that we just saved for the draft. And this is your form. To submit this form, you will need to click on Review to submit. And then submit. Okay, and you will be presented by the confirmation screen. Also here, we can do the amendment of the form. You will go to the same construction permit and then to the amendment. You click your form that is ready to be amended. As you can see that this form, it got pre-filled is the majority of the questions. But here we still will need to check box and also fill out the signature block. And then we can submit there. Amendment. Okay. This is how you will submit your amendment. And also we have in construction permit, we have the modification. I have one TP that I submitted today that we can open and take a look. As well, you will be presented with all the forms that can be modified. You select the one what you need. Here. Same, you will be basically all the information will be pre-populated, and then you can submit the modification. Now we can move to the license. And here, this is the 310 form license, same as has their construction permit. It has the applicant information, it has contact information, and then we have the construction permit information here. You will select their example, the construction permit, what you using for this license. The call sign will be populated here. Same with location. Then you will need to add their date when the construction began, and when got construction completed. Also to add the type of station, and then you will select if the station is operating. If not, then we will need to submit the exhibit. Similar question that we had in construction permit, we have the equal opportunities, also the application fees, waiver. Same way, the confidential treatment of attachment, general certification statements. And also you can save as a draft this form, or you can just go ahead and submit from them after you fill it out. Then we have the renewal for the license. Here you can also, it's the same as all forms, applicant information, contact information. Then there you'll select the license here, the call sign, get depopulated. Also, if there are any big changes, you will submit this in your authorization, then you will submit in the attachment. We have application fees, we have waiver, confidential treatment of attachment, statements, and signature. Before I go to the transfer control and assignments, we can cover there. I can show you the STA and PTA forms and how they are different a little bit from other forms as well. This is the special temporary authority form, also contact information, applicant information. This form has the brief application description field and also the authority types. You can, if it's STA, you can just click here on this radio button. If it's equipment test authority, you also go through the STA form. And if it's additional frequency hours, you also cover it in STA form. And as you can see, if it's equipment test authority, you won't need to pay fees. The question get grayed out. You can select the begin date, end date, and if there are any COOP event, you also will go to STA form and select here. Then we have the program test authority. This form doesn't have any application fees, but it has also like the brief application description. Also, you can select the 310 form, what you are using on the top, and then begin date, 810, date, waiver, confidential treatment of attachment, and then statements, general certification statements, and signature block. I can pause here and then we move to other forms if there are any questions.
No questions have come into chat.
Thank you, Kathleen. For transfer control and assignments, we have 3 forms. It's 314, 315, and 16. Those forms have also the amending functionality and to file new form. We can open, for example, 315. Here, there one of the differences from the, for example, 309 form. This form has like transfer information, transfer contact information, then transferee information and transferee contact information as well. Here as well, like any other form, you will select the FRN. Then we have a question that purpose of the application, if it's a transfer control or transfer control of licensee or transfer control of permittee. You can select here. Then we have if there are any applicant in addition to the lead applicant, you can list all your additional applicants in this MRVS table, for example. Then changes in the interest as a result of transfer. This question is also formed in MRVS. And this is how you will fill out all the information here. Licensee permittees also, we have here some MRVS questions. And also based on the answer on some questions, you will be required to submit an exhibit file. parties of the application, and also in MRVS table. Also online notice here, questions. If we have the question mark, it means that it's like kind of the helpful information. And then we have some worksheets here as well. That also requires answer the question. And if you can see here, it's a lot of sub questions as well. So we have the application fees question and then confidential treatment of attachments. And for transfer control forms, we also have the signatures blocks, which is goes the transferor will need to sign, the applicant will need to sign, the transferee will need to sign as well. And all those three forms, they pretty similar, they form a similar way. I just went through like to show you some differences between construction permit license renewal and also the transfer and assignment form. Here, I think I actually had the amendment. Yeah. If we submit the form, then you and the form still in the pending review status, you can amend that form. Okay. If you amend the form, basically the form will be pre-filled with the information. So the signature block that you will need to fill it out. And this is the transfer control and assignment. And then we can move to frequency coordination request forms. Before we move to that part, I'll pause a little bit if there are any questions.
There was just one from John Grizzle about the contact area. When contacts don't require an FRN, but all of our forms seem to require them right now, they should be able to just type in their information. When they type in the information, the required FRN field should be grayed out. I thought I had reported this as a defect before. If not, I'll be doing it now because that really needs to be fixed.
Okay.
There's a number of contacts that do not, I mean, if they're lawyers or engineers, they don't need an FRN unless they themselves are going to file an application with the FCC. But they don't have them. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Kathleen. I'll make a note for me, but also just shoot us an email regarding this defect and we can add it to the list. Okay, we move to frequency coordination request form, which is slightly different from the standards in ICFS system, as you can see here. We, for FCR form, the applicant will need to provide the call sign that was assigned to them. And then here, the season selection, what they are applying their frequencies, they will select current or upcoming coming. And then the frequencies, the way the system, they can be submitted in 4 different ways. If they can just upload the file, they can enter each data elements, or can they just select the station current frequency season. If I select B24, I think I have the data will be populated here. Also, we have here indicator of the status, which is the data is correct. Then its status will be green. If the data is wrong, then the status will be red. This is how they select the previously submitted season. Then let me just remove this and start it from the beginning, that if they want to upload the file, I also have the file. Let's click on move this page. If applicants would like to upload the file, they will also go to the proposed frequency schedule. Upload the file. They will click on this sign and then populate the data. And I upload the file with a little mistakes to show you that, for example, if there are any like mistakes in data, the system will be red here. It will show you that you will need to go to the information, and here I have some frequencies that NT, and I know that I did a mistake in broadcaster. No. Okay. And you can see it changed to OK. Then we can do this all of them. And then the indicator became green. Okay. Now I can show another way. And if you want to just add frequencies, you just go here. Here we have a indicator as well. If the frequency is in band, it just will accept it. But if I want to add some out of band frequencies or NTA coordinations, you will receive the warning that the frequency is out of band and requires the NTA coordination. The NTA coordination is lengthy process and it might take some time. Do you want this frequency coordinated with NTA? If you select no, then the frequency just disappeared. If you select yes, Then we will start coordination with the NTA and will inform you of the response. Basically, the FCC will receive this frequency flagged with out of band, and they will do the process to be cleared with NTA. But you still can submit the application. Then the start time, stop time, and we have this similar rules to CRF zones that we had error message if you do the typo. But CRF zones are similar to what we had on construction permit when I showed you that also some rules there. Similar rules applies here. Modulation type and the power. Azimuth. Azimuth get connected to the also the same the 309 form and the information what FCC has. If I add the azimuth that this one wasn't this one. Yeah, you can see that I added the wrong azimuth and it's just asking you to check your record. If I add my azimuth, you can see that antenna code gets populated based on the azimuth. We have the slew. Same would happen to the slew if I would select if on 309 we have the slewable antenna, the FCR form won't accept the slew that are not on the 309 form. But this, I believe it was rotatable one. Then the days as well, if I do like this, it will ask you to add the correct dates. Here we have the antenna design frequencies. And languages, we have the whole list of the languages you can select. You can select multiple of them here. Regarding the broadcast, it will ask you if your station acting as a relay broadcasting another HFCC broadcaster materials. If you select yes, then in broadcaster field, you will need to select the broadcaster. If you add no, then the broadcaster get populated based on your call sign. And that's how you can add your frequencies. For application fees for FCR form, you will receive the email with the directions where you can pay the fees. You're not paying them at the time of filing the FCR form, but also we have the waiver question. Yes or no, similar as other forms. Then another functionality what we have for FCR. Basically, like you get used to that you send the email, add delete email, where the frequencies you mention what frequencies will be removed, what frequency will be added. Now to modify your frequency schedule, you will need to go to you can still send the email, but also you can propose frequencies, add delete. And here you will select the FCR, your FCR. What you want to add or delete. And here you can basically add new one. You can remove this one, or you can add new one, new frequency by clicking on add. If you want to modify this, you will click on edit. If you want to remove it, you add on remove the road. And after you review and submit this form, then FCC staff will receive all the information in the previous add delete format for them. I can pause here for a little bit if there are some more questions.
No more questions have popped up.
Then we can go, this was regarding everything what was regarding the forms. We also have here the action tab, which is where you can register new FRNs with scores. You can submit annual reports, file confidential treatment of attachment. You also can consummate, surrender, or withdraw, delete applications. And here we have the pay filing fees. You will click here, can select the application, and then go to course. And then over there, you will be presented with the steps how you will, in course, how you will pay your fees. Also in action, we have the consummate, surrender, withdraw, and delete. All of them that work similar way. If you click on the surrender, you can select the application. It will ask you to add the file. File, done, and then surrender. This is the same way how you will do the surrender the call sign as well. For IHF, you will select application where the call sign is assigned, and you will do the surrender. Also, we have reading and comments. As in the beginning, I showed you how you can request the call sign through the pleading and comments. But also we have other pleading types that you can select. Like, yeah, this is what we covered in the beginning, the IHF call sign request. But here is as well, we have the IHF disruption of service, IHF end of season frequency report. You'll select this and then fill out all the necessary information to the attachment with end of the season report, and we'll click on the submit. Okay. We can do one more. I will select the phone number. And that's how you will submit your end of the season report. Okay. I can pause here for if there are any questions.
No questions.
Okay. Perfect. Then thank you so much. Thank you for all your time that you join our ICFS demo. And yeah, and I give you 1 hour back. Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone for coming.